School trip. Ayush was sitting on the bus, thinking about what the mountains would be like. At 15 years old, Ayush had been living in Chandigarh for the past 9 years, but he had never been to the beautiful valleys of Himachal. However, his dream was about to come true on this school trip. The entire day passed while they ate from a bunch of lunchboxes and played Antakshari. Just as they were about to reach Shimla, the bus, which had been running perfectly moments before, suddenly started emitting smoke. It was very late at night, and since the children were with them, all the teachers decided to stay in a nearby hotel, call a mechanic in the morning to fix the bus, and then head to Shimla. They reached a hotel nearby, which was surrounded by tall trees and mountains on both sides. All the teachers divided the children into different rooms in the hotel, and after dinner, everyone went to sleep. Aman was given a room with his friends Rohan and Ayush, and he was very happy because both of them were his close friends. When Ayush, Aman, and Rohan went to the room, they could see a lake in the middle of the jungle through the window. They all remembered how, on the last school trip, 2 kids went out to the lake at night and became the most popular kids in school. So the 3 of them made a plan that this time they would do something similar. They thought they would sneak out of the hotel, go to the lake, take a picture, and come back. As soon as the hotel guard fell asleep, the 3 of them snuck out. The lake didn't seem too far from the hotel, but after walking towards it for about half an hour, the forest path seemed never-ending. It had gotten much colder, and in the deserted forest, the 3 of them were freezing. When they checked their phones, there was no signal. They thought they should cancel the lake plan and return to the hotel. Using the flashlight on their phones, they started searching for the way back to the hotel. While searching for the path, Aman and Ayush, who were walking a little ahead of Rohan, turned around and realized that Rohan was not there. Just then, they heard someone running nearby. They were very scared, but since they couldn't leave Rohan alone, they followed the sound of footsteps. They kept following the sound of the footsteps through the deserted, silent forest until, after a few minutes, the sound stopped. They still hadn't found Rohan, and now Aman and Ayush were really scared. But just then, they heard a sound like someone was digging the ground. Slowly, they went towards the sound, and from behind the bushes, they saw that it was none other than Rohan digging a hole in the ground. In fear, they called out to Rohan. Rohan turned towards them and looked at them with eyes full of anger. His eyes had turned completely black, as if someone had taken out his eyeballs. Aman went up to Rohan, put his hand on his shoulder, and asked him what was wrong. But as soon as Aman touched Rohan's shoulder, Rohan screamed at him and pushed him hard. Aman fell far away. Rohan had gained some strange power. Ayush ran towards Aman. Rohan started having strange fits and then fainted. Ayush tried to wake him up, and as soon as Rohan regained consciousness, he looked at Aman and started screaming loudly. Just then, Ayush saw that Aman was sitting with his head down. Suddenly, Aman lifted his head, and his eyes had also turned completely black. Before Ayush and Rohan could do anything, Aman, who had been with them in the hotel just a while ago, got up and ran into the forest. Rohan and Ayush chased after him, and in the flashlight of their phones they saw that Aman was running towards a ruin. When they got closer, they saw that the ruin was actually a very old house, and it seemed like no human had set foot there in years. They were both terrified and didn't have the courage to go further, but to save Aman, Ayush and Rohan entered the ruin. When they reached the stairs, what they saw left them in disbelief. They saw that Aman was hanging in the air unconscious, and an old woman was talking to him. The woman's face was horrifying. Her eyes were completely black, her skin was sagging, and her disheveled white hair made her even scarier. As soon as they saw the woman, they ran outside, and the woman started following them. Ayush and Rohan quickly ran down the stairs and reached the door of the house. When they looked back, they saw that the old woman was crawling down the stairs like an insect and was getting closer to them. Somehow, they managed to escape and ran towards the jungle. As they kept running, they didn't realize when they reached the lake they had been searching for when they left the hotel. Rohan and Ayush both fell into the lake while running and started drowning. It felt like something was pulling them underwater. Somehow, Ayush managed to get out of the lake, but right before his eyes, Rohan drowned, and he couldn't do anything. Seeing this, Ayush was so terrified that he started feeling dizzy and fainted right there. When Ayush woke up in the morning, he was in the same hotel room. He ran outside, where he saw a lot of police teams, and Rohan and Aman's bodies were lying wrapped in white sheets on the ground. The police had declared it a murder, but the locals said that many years ago, an old woman used to live in that forest. She had a house there, and she lived peacefully, away from everyone. But one day, some people from the nearby village harassed and killed her to take over her house and threw her body into the lake. Since then, no one goes near the forest or the lake at night. It's said that the old woman's spirit still wanders there, seeking revenge. If only these three friends had known this, maybe today Rohan and Aman would still be alive along with Ayush.